Where we're at right now is one area of the studio complex. It's where I keep part of my collection of quilts and a few other things. People ask me sometimes what influences me or what inspires my designs. Well, this is a good selection of the quilt collection that I have that I draw some of my designs from. I have about right here several hundred, and I wish I could bring each one of them out and show them to you individually, because they all are interesting and they all have their own, they tell their own story. They're from different eras, and some of the ones are very modern, very complex, very beautifully rendered. Some are very primitive and some are very old. Some are using even the old indigo dyes and the homespun of some of the fabrics go all the way back to 1700s. We have a wide variety of designs and patterns that are represented here, and all of you that are out there who are quilters, you know how varied those designs go. For this, for example, is a single color quilt that's fairly old. It's probably from the 30s or 40s, and it's in the bear claw or the goose track. And as you can see, it's all very nicely hand done, but it's a simple quilt. Some of the ones that are a little bit more complex, I'll show you here. This is an old quilt. This is probably a Depression era or before. It is beautifully done. It's a broken star, as you can see. It's a pattern I use frequently. And the quilting on it, while it's all done by hand, is absolutely tight and beautifully done. It's a very good example of an old quilt whereby they are using the fabrics in here. Some of these things are feed sack denim or ginghams, as you can see. It's a great example of a beautiful old vintage quilt. Here's an example of an Amish style quilt. The Amish are thought of as being drab and colorless, but their quilts are really quite colorful. And this one's in the wedding ring pattern, variety of colors, typical black background, but they're all very graphic, as you can see. The Amish typically do things in such a way that they're so graphic that they're almost like modern art. Now that contrasted, I told you that's in a wedding ring pattern. Here's another example of the same pattern in a completely different application. Here we go. And this is a little bit older quilt. This is probably the late 1800s or prior to World War I, certainly. You can see the variety of the fabrics they use, and once again, the quilting, you can't really see the detail, but trust me, the quilting is very patterned, very beautifully done, and it's all rendered by hand. So that's a great example. So these are a few of the examples of the things that inspire me, the way I get my patterns, and it's a fantastic source for the type of patterns that I use. It's a wide variety of the colorations, and it gives you an idea of what inspires me.